Witchy welcome, my children! You would think that today's comic would just be an adaptation of the famous found footage film, but it is so much more than that. Behold the stories within the story. The legend of the Blair Witch.
What we have here is an anthology of sorts. Within the movie, there were tales told about the Blair Witch legend, her appearances throughout history, and this comic expands upon them. The first is the origin of the witch herself, in a tale entitled Ellie Kedward's Curse. Ellie Kedward was a girl born with a curse, one her family recognized and tried to teach her to suppress. However, such a curse leads to tragedy. 7 attempts at children lead to miscarriages, and a husband lost at war showed that off. She fled to the village known as Blair, hoping to avoid bringing harm to anyone else. She lived in peace, for a time anyway, but eventually children began to mock her and formed a little story about her to explain why they were out late at night. And eventually she was accused by the town of witchcraft, beaten and burned by the foolish inhabitants, and Ellie finally gave in to her curse. She ascended to her spiritful witch form and found new children to replace the ones she had lost. The next story is sometime later, now that Blair has been renamed Burkittsville. This is She Needs Me, Coffin Rock. A little girl is lured out into the woods by a spectral form that takes her doll. Or does it? Eventually, people search for the missing girl, who is now fully possessed by the witch, and whom she gladly takes her revenge upon the men, descendants of the ones who made her what she is. The girl carves them up and arranges their bodies in a circle around the stick figure of the legend. And the girl is sent home, told what to say, and no one ever finds those bodies. But hey, she got her dolly back, so I think everything evened out. And finally we have Left Alone, the Rustin Parr killings. Rustin Parr was but a simple woodsman who wanted nothing more than to mind his own business and enjoy life in his cabin. But he was obviously not alone, for he shared the woods with the witch, who was all too happy to have him claim children for her. She tormented the man until he relented, promising to leave him alone only if he did as she asked. He took the children, gave them toys to try to comfort them, before he began to mutilate their bodies. He took 2 at a time, one standing in the corner facing away while he worked on the other. He did not want them to witness, you see, the things she was making him do. One final child was left, but not killed. Ellie just wanted her children back, you see, and he was finally left alone. For him to confess his crimes and to never let his own soul see what he had done.
The Blair Witch Project, regardless of how you feel about the film itself, produced in this comic a lore of horror that I can share with you. But don't you worry, my children. I will never tell you to stand in the corner and look away.